Yo guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we'll be talking about this Eride Pro SS 2.0, which has 2,000 plus miles on it, going over what I did to it and how is it still holding up. Okay, we're gonna hop into talking about the specs of this bike. So the motor I'm running is a stock motor, which is the 5 kilowatt rated motor, 12 kilowatt peak power. It produces 55 Newton meters of torque and 16 horsepower, producing 60 plus miles per hour. So it's not a very slow motor, takes up a lot of room. It's a pretty big motor. So yeah, this is a stock Eride Pro SS 2.0 motor. So the tires are the 17-inch Sur-Ron Supermoto wheels. Great for the street and great for the money. You can get these off the Sur-Ron website. I got them off Sur-Ron.Canada. I think it's the Canada Sur-Ron website that I got these from. This is a very common question I get. Where do I get these tires? They're just Sur-Ron Lightbee X tires. Okay, so let's move on to the battery. So this is a 72 volt, 40 amp hour stock Eride Pro SS 2.0 battery. It just has a vinyl wrap on it to make it look better. Well, personal opinion. So it's just like an Amazon wrap or an MX wrap. You can get those off of TikTok. It's just a company that makes wraps for batteries. So with this battery, you can get 50 to 90 miles on a charge. I've clearly got more than that before. But yeah, so these batteries do last a pretty long time. I do hear people complain in the comments that the battery dies after many months. Like it won't hold the charge. I'm not experiencing that issue. They probably abuse their bikes. So yeah, so my personal preference and experience, the battery lasts like it should. But with other people, I'm hearing they don't last. But that could just be user error or just how they maintain the bike. I keep mine in a heated garage, not in a cold environment. Keep it off the concrete. For some reason, I've experienced that batteries don't last well if you leave them on concrete, like just leave it sitting on concrete. I hear it drains it. That's what I've experienced. So yeah, but the battery lasted pretty good. And yeah, 50 to 90 miles is the range you can get according to Eride Pro. All right, let's move on to the controller. I don't really have much to say about the controller. It's just the stock Eride Pro SS 2.0. I'm like a broken record. Controller. So yeah, no problems with it. I did powder coat the bike, obviously. And I did have a couple problems while powder coating, putting it back together after the powder coat. But besides that, it does its jobs pretty good. Never had problems like besides that. That's a user error, obviously. So yeah, nope, controller is just a stock controller. So yeah. Okay, let's move on to the bar section of this bike. So these bars are 100% stock. They're just the normal, again, stock Eride Pro SS 2.0 bars. Stock brakes. I did have to change the brake once because the bike fell over and the brake lever snapped, but besides that, no other problems. So yeah, these do come with the hydraulic brakes, pretty nice stock. I would say they're pretty good. I've never had problems, and I had no need to upgrade them. So yeah, pretty good brakes for stock. This bike in general is pretty good for stock. Let's put it that way. Eride Pros are excellent stock. Much better for the money than a Sur-Ron. Like Sur-Rons are probably better when you dump like 10 plus K into them. But stock versus stock, this is better any day. Ask anybody, unless they're very like biased towards Sur-Rons. But yeah. Everything up here is stock. The Eco Mode, Sport Mode button stock. The only thing that I'm missing, you guys have probably seen, is the screen. I broke the screen. That is a me problem, not a them problem. I dropped the screen and it broke. So I'm waiting for a new one to come. But so right now, the bike runs without a screen. I just can't tell my battery life without opening this and checking the battery life right on the battery. And I can't see my speed and any of that. So yeah, this bike comes with the regenerative braking, horn, the turbo button, and yeah, and a light. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the suspension. Very controversial on this. People hate or love the suspension. So the forks are obviously stock Eride Pro SS 2.0 forks, and same as the rear shock. I might upgrade the rear shock, but the forks for me, they have a little leak, not really. But But Eride Pro will actually give you free forks if you file a warranty claim and you speak to them on the phone. And so yeah, but I haven't made that form out yet because I don't think the forks are bad enough to file a warranty claim. So yeah, my forks are perfectly fine. And again, I ride the street. I mean, if you guys are riding dirt jumps, which a lot of my friends do with these, you probably want to get upgraded forks. Even the 3.0 forks aren't the best on this. But for street and flat ground riding and stuff, and just riding like, just riding normally, these forks are probably good for you. Rear shock, it's a little stiff. I wish it's either too soft or too stiff. I mean, it's no real good adjustment. I keep adjusting it and I take my time, and yeah, it's not really the best shock, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, so stock suspension, and yeah. Okay, so we'll start talking about the little mods that I did on this bike just for looks. So first off, the Moto Cuts plate is just like a little plate sticker that goes on top of the original plate. You do not need to buy a new plate. Sometimes other bikes, you have to buy an ODI plate or a Sur-Ron plate to get these stickers. The stock plate actually works. So yeah. And next is the Luna pegs. These are just, they have like metal spikes in them, so pretty grippy. And then we got this Astro Works Co. Foot lock for doing some wheelies. And we got some fakery here. I got some fake carbon fiber vinyl wrap on my rear fender. Again, an Amazon vinyl wrap, pretty cheap to buy. Something that's not cheap, more on the expensive end, is this Guts seat cover. I really don't understand why it's so much money for a little piece of fabric. But yeah, I think it's like $80 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is all the things that I did to this bike. And obviously the powder coat, like I already mentioned. So this powder coat changes to 2 different colors, 2 to 3 different colors. Right now it's very dim in the garage, so you can't really see the glitter or like the metallics. But in the sun, this thing is crazy. It changes to colors all the time. It'll be like really light blue, a dark blue, or a purple, or turn black kind of, or an orangey red color. Pretty cool. So yeah. Oh, and the last like little mod thing is I have a what's it called, a rock light or like an underglow that's under here. It's yep, it's blue, and I can do a close up. Oh, my headlight's on. Boom. And yeah, so the light's always on, doesn't kill that much power, and I am not 100% sure where I got it. I'm gonna look real quick and then I'll tell you guys. Okay, I just looked through my orders and I got that underglow from Project 9. They make a lot of 3D printed parts for Sur-Ron, Eride Pros, and Talarias. Pretty cool company. Yeah, they make a lot of cool stuff. Like they make a really cool mount for your screen for your Eride Pro. I'm probably gonna buy it actually. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, check out Project 9. That's where I got that underglow. Plug and play. Literally, you just take off 4 bolts, plug it in, boom, works. Doesn't kill that much power either. So I'm pretty sure I went over the whole bike. Well, I guess I can talk about this. This is just a stock 55 tooth sprocket. If you do put on the sprocket that comes with this wheel, you got to shorten the chain. Didn't feel like doing that. Plenty of power and torque with this sprocket right here. So yeah, because that sprocket normally goes on the stock dirt tires, which are 19-inch. These are 17-inch. So yeah, or am I mistaken? Once again, this is 17 or 16-inch. Let's read it right now. 17-inch. I just have so many bikes, and I keep getting confused of all the parts on one another because they're very similar. I forgot to mention the Warp 9 kickstand I have on this bike. Very important if you're going to get these Supermotos, because if you have these Supermotos, the stock kickstand does not work because it's so tall, the bike will fall over. Even with the slightest wind, the bike will fall over. So check out that Warp 9 adjustable kickstand. Just a little FYI, because that's another, not a struggle that I had, but like just a problem that I had with the stock kickstand. Literally the bike will be like balancing like this, and then it falls over so easily. So yeah, definitely get the Warp 9 adjustable kickstand. Definitely worth it. Or just run no kickstand and just leave the bike on the ground. But I like having a kickstand for this reason. So yeah. Okay, so now for the 2,000 plus mile review. So this bike has been through a lot. So for the first 500 miles, it was like a dirt bike to me. I rode it on the dirt, hit jumps with it all the time. So the suspension got really, not beat up, but like used. And so in the past 2,000 miles, this bike got powder coated. I changed the brakes twice, just the pads. And besides that, there's nothing happened. I mean, the belt still works, never changed the belt. No problems overall, let's put it that way. Over 2,000 miles, I had 0 problems, just the maintenance. I mean, what is it, just change your brake pads? And that's not really, I've never changed the front ones. The front ones I barely use. So yeah, I mean, I've had no problems with it. So yeah, I feel like the only problems that I had is when I powder coated the bike. So I guess we can go in depth what I mean with that. So I powder coated this bike, which requires stripping apart the whole entire bike. And taking it apart was super easy, very quick, only took an hour and a half, 2 hours. Because, yeah, I labeled everything. And when I got it powder coated, started putting it back, everything kept breaking. Like, for example, this controller, all the wires are not color coded or not like even close to plug it into each other. And I was stupid enough not to label those wires, because other bikes I've worked on and other pieces of equipment, all the wires are normally color coded or have the same ends or like unique ends, so they won't plug into all these different wires. So what happened is, when I put it back together, the wire harness not blew up, just, shorted out. And so I got a new wire harness, and then it still didn't fix the problem. And then after that, we thought it was a controller. Then I got another controller, and it still didn't fix the problem. And after all that work, new controller, new wire harness, ended up being a 12 volt, like a 12 volt converter under here. Just one little thing. And a couple sensors. I mean, I just bought basically a controller and all that for kind of no reason. The wire harness was needed. The controller, no. So this is a fresh controller. So yeah, the 12 volt, it was just a 12 volt reducer or the sensor. So I unplugged all the sensors and got a new 12 volt reducer, and it works. So there we go. And it did short out the USB port, but I can just get another one, very cheap. So yeah, that's the only problems I've had, but that's like user error. It's my first time doing something like this, so it was kind of my fault, and that not making sure that the wires are plugged in right. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people powder coat and have no problems, so it's just user error on my end. So 2,000 plus mile review. I mean, there's nothing really to say. I mean, I had no problems, but if you like to beat on your bike, ride it like a full-on dirt bike, I have a feeling you're going to be snapping a lot of things on this bike. Like my friend just got an Eride Pro SS 3.0, I'm pretty sure, and it's already broken. I mean, he blew up the forks. I mean, they're already like junk. Chain broke, belt broke, this part broke. I mean, if you really beat on your bike and you do not take care of it and you keep buying new bikes every couple months, like, oh yeah, I just traded this Suron for another Eride, this and that, and you like to beat on your bike, I mean, this is not really the bike for you. But if you're like, if you take care of your bikes, and especially if you're a street rider, even if you're a dirt rider, this is a great bike if you upgrade it. I would say you probably need suspension, but goes with any Suron and stuff. So this bike will be good if you just take care of it, like everything else in this world. But if you like to beat on your bikes, this is probably not the best bike for you, I would say. I wouldn't say it's fragile, but I just see a lot of like parts like the suspension break. So, but for me at least, I do a combination of both. no problems. So 2,000 plus mile review, right there. So yeah, just the brakes, the tires are getting a little flat right here. Have like a little flat spot, but these aren't even the stock tires, so I can't even talk about that. So yeah, so my personal opinion that I've had on this bike for the past 2,000 miles of riding it is it's been great. I mean, I've had no problems with it. Batteries just like a day old. It's like literally keeping up, holding its charge, same amount of power. So yeah, I think this is an excellent bike to buy. And if I would say, should you buy a Sur-Ron? So if you're doing a budget build and you're asking, should I buy a Sur-Ron or a Eride Pro, I would say the Eride Pro. If you're going to be dumping like 10K, I would say a Sur-Ron, because it'll be better to dump all that money in a Sur-Ron than dump all the money on this. So very confusing, I guess, in the middle with this. So basically budget build, this all out Sur-Ron. I mean, you can go all out with this and it'll probably be cool. You can get some EXT forks, EXT rear shock. You can get a upgraded EBMX controller and it'll be set. And get those wide, what are those dirt tires called? Just those MX tires or whatever, those dirt tires. And you'll have like a pretty set like dirt bike pretty much. But I just see a lot more people like the modded Sur-Rons over the modded Eride Pros, like preference-wise, not like looks, just preference, like how they ride. So very in the middle with that, but yeah. So I know I didn't talk about the 2,000 plus mile review a lot because there's nothing really to talk about. I mean, I've had no problems really with this bike, so that's a good thing. So yeah. So if you have any questions about this bike, please comment them down below and I'll get back to you. Even if this video is 5 years old, I'll try my best to get back to you with questions on this bike. My other video on my first ever review on the bike was like 2-3 years ago, and I still get back to those people. So ask me these questions or any questions that you have in mind. The only question I won't answer is the powder coat color. I don't want the same color on someone else's bike. I've seen similar colors, but I just don't want the exact same one. So not going to tell you guys where I got the powder coat, but any questions like besides that, I'll answer. And so yeah, so thank you for watching this YouTube video. All subscribes are appreciated, and see you guys in the next video.